Join me for episode 21 of my Hiking the Continental Divide Trail series, where we start at the Yellowstone National Park's edge, diving into the iconic Old Faithful village. We explore the Geyser Basin's wonders, strolling the boardwalk past steaming vents and the legendary Old Faithful itself. Leaving the geothermal spectacle behind, we trek onward through Wyoming's wilds, reaching the Wyoming-Idaho border in a thrilling milestone. Join us for an epic adventure blending Yellowstone's natural marvels with rugged CDT terrain. With the early finish yesterday, I had plenty of time to get my wet socks and shoes all dried out in the afternoon sun. Naturally, this morning, the trail heads off through long grass for the first 300 metres. So within the first 2 minutes, from my knees down, everything is back to being soaking wet. You've got to love the CDT. I shouldn't have worried too much, for in the next 5 minutes we have 3 stream crossings. Then we come to the Snake River, which we have to wade through. Incidentally,
how was that?
We followed the Snake River for a long way as it, am I allowed to say, snakes its way down through the valley? Perhaps the better word is meanders. Heading deeper into Yellowstone National Park from our starting point on the southern border, we continue following along the Snake River, but mostly up high on the valley wall. There are lots of puds, pointless or perhaps painful ups and downs. And then we cross through the river to do it all again on the other side. This crisscrossing goes on a number of times. After seeing 7 grizzly bear scat piles yesterday, today I've stepped over 7 piles already in the first 2 hours. One in particular looked fairly fresh. So lots of evidence of grizzly bears, but still no sightings. I think, thankfully. We leave the Snake River by climbing up over a little pass and head on to the next valley, which holds the Heart River. We followed the Snake River downstream, whereas we are now following the Heart River upstream towards Heart Lake.
This is DJC and CC bridge building works in progress.
It might snap in half.
Let's see. You're the guinea pig. Don't embarrass us. Having second thoughts. Oh, thanks very much. Now am I going to get across? Here we are on the shores of Heart Lake. It's a beautiful summer's day, nice and warm. Here's our first little sulphur spring in Yellowstone National Park. We're going to walk over this way and check out a bit of steam coming off over there. This is the Heart Lake geyser complex. And here's our first little bubbler. Gotta make sure we don't slip through the surface. We'll go and check the other one out. Here's the next little geyser system. I'm sure as I go on and see more and more, the novelty will wear off. But for now, while it's new, we'll film them and have a look. I just went to get water out of Witches Creek back there. Quite a big, well, not overly big, but big enough. A lot of water flowing, and the water was hot. This is probably where it's coming from. Yes, one of the sources of Witch Creek. You can see that bubbling spring. No wonder it's so hot. Problem for me is I was counting on that water. Now I've got about 4 miles, 5 miles to the road to Grant Village, and then maybe 5 miles into there if we can't get a hitch. It's very hot. I'm thirsty.
That was probably my worst water mistake on trail so far. We finally make it to Highway 89 where we hitch into Grant's Village. I'm so dehydrated I'm not feeling that great. But after 40 minutes we finally score a ride and I'm saved. We head to the general store and I load up with Gatorade, Fanta and a large bottle of water. I'm so thirsty that I'm not sure it's enough. Now onto the campground to get our camping permit. Chip Crusher does the honours and we are all set. At our camp spot, we meet Ninja, who is hiking the CDT southbound. Ninja started on the 4th of July weekend. He had plenty of snow in northern Montana, but thinks we will be fine going north from now on. We spend the evening giving and gaining advice to help each other on our onward journeys. Staying at a designated campground can be good and bad. The good is you get to utilise and enjoy the facilities. The bad is you can be clumped together with rowdy people. That was our experience last night. Added to this, my allotted tent site was on a slope. I spent the whole night sliding down the bottom of my tent. I was worried I was going to break through. The big plus this morning is we are able to go and enjoy breakfast from the restaurant before we head back out. It helps so much to start the day with something substantial rather than the boring bars full of sugar.
Back on Premium Trail, which is nice. We are walking around Shoshone Lake at the moment. The lake is out here to our right, but it's on the way and up over the mountain on the other side. I assume because it's too difficult to get a trail along the foreshore, which would be nice so you could enjoy the view, because no, we're just in the forest, and another 5 miles I think we'll pop out at the lake again. This is Lake Shoshone, and my brother-in-law Rob tells me there's a unique volcanic rock only found here named Shoshonite after the lake, and it's very high in potassium. I was wondering if I should eat some to keep the cramps away.
Leaving the lake, there is a section we have to go through that is a muddy bog. People report that it is all mud above the knees and you come out covered in leeches. We decide no thanks to that and take horse trail that winds up high to the west but keeps us dry. It reconnects with the CDT, so it all works out well. We make it to Old Faithful Village and there is a traffic jam of cars trying to get into the place and lots of people everywhere. Our first port of call is the general store to organise our resupply for the next 2 days. We have 53 miles to West Yellowstone, which we will make in 2 days. Next on the list is to get dinner from the grill restaurant. It is all takeout fare, and while we are eating this, we miss Old Faithful doing its regular thing. Not to worry, as we will catch the next one in an hour and a half or so. While we're waiting, I take the opportunity to recharge my battery bank. My phone is dead and I will be lost without it. Old Faithful takes its time while we are waiting, but eventually puts on a great show. It shoots the water and steam high into the air, and this goes on for over 4 minutes. A much bigger and longer display than the previous eruption. With that done, we take a long walk along the boardwalk, inspecting the many other geysers and sulphur pools. Some are bubbling away, others have mini eruptions, while others just seep water over the crust surrounding the large hole in the ground. With that done, we move on some more. It's very late in the day now, and it's time we got to our camp. Tomorrow we have a big mileage day with very little water sources available. So our packs are super heavy. I'm carrying out 4 litres of water, so I hope that is enough to get me through. That makes my pack very heavy, but it has to be done. It's a grey and cloudy morning to start the day. Last night it drizzled rain for most of the night and it looks like it's going to continue on today. I really have been lucky with the lack of rain on this hike. I haven't had too many days where I've needed the rain gear at all. When I first hiked in from the southern end of Yellowstone, I figured the novelty of the geysers would wear off. But now that I'm hiking down the boardwalk in the main basin, I still find myself stopping at almost every one. They are captivating for their size, the power of the eruptions, plus the amazing multi-colours of the pools. Getting back on trail has taken me a whole heap longer than I thought it would.
main geyser, which is this one, it's been going off for ages. Big smell of rotten eggs in the air. This one has to have been going for 10 minutes or more. It's a bit of a grey morning this morning. This is Firehole River behind me, where all this hot boiling water from the geysers runs off into. And I just realised further downstream I was drinking this yesterday. So I made it through the night, so hopefully no damage done. Anyway, got a big day today. We've got 53 miles to West Yellowstone, and 28 of it today there's no water. So we've got to carry all our water for the next 45 kilometres, which isn't going to be fun. I've got about 4 litres, which probably isn't enough, but thankfully it's a bit grey and overcast, so shouldn't be too bad.
The first challenge of the day is trying to cross a stream. I'm not sure why I'm bothering about the water, as I've been walking through long grass for most of the morning and I'm soaked from the thighs down. But I tackle a logjam bridge which is slippery wet, plus it has lots of branches along the way to throw me off. But the biggest challenge is to tackle all that while being attacked by 100 mosquitoes. As I walk along the trail and my trekking poles bang on the ground, it makes a surprising sound, a bit like a banging drum. It surprises me to hear the echo from what must be a chamber underneath. You wouldn't know what was going on in the ground below or how stable the dirt is that I'm walking on. My sister Paulie messaged me to say that fellow hiker Robert Kukin, who I met way back down in New Mexico, had lost his sleeping pad at Summit Lake. I checked the area where he believed he left it, but it was not to be found. I walked up and down for almost an hour, but with no luck. I figure a bear is mighty comfy in his den right now.
There's not much to report as far as the trail is concerned today, apart from Summit Lake. There really hasn't been much of note. It's a pretty dreary former forest. Fire and beetle kill, I assume. You can see things are already drying off substantially as we get closer to this western edge of the state of Wyoming. Much different from not that long ago when I was just travelling through the lushest of green valleys. Just as we started Wyoming with a lot of blowdowns, as we get closer to the border, we're going to finish with a lot of blowdowns. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to present the Wyoming/Idaho borderline. Yippee! Here we are on the Idaho border, which means I've just passed mile marker 2000. So that also means we are 2/3 of the way there. Or I could put it like I only just have to hike from Sydney to Melbourne and back and I'm done. But it also means I'm seriously worried about running short of time. I'm only on a 6-month visa, so that's due to expire soon. Originally I didn't think it was going to be a problem because I thought I would just duck into Canada, then I'd be able to come back on a multiple entry and it would renew. But in these current times that's not going to happen. So I'll just have to try and do a few more miles and try and squeeze it in. If not, we'll just have to cut the hike short, which I hope doesn't happen. No sign of CC today, Chip Crusher. I'm not sure what happened to him. I think he went back into Old Faithful to get breakfast. So I'll sit and wait here for a while and hopefully he turns up.